4 Hidden Psychology Secrets Behind Doggy Style. Doggy style, one of the most talked about positions in human intimacy, carries far deeper meaning than most people realize. Beyond physical pleasure, this position reveals fascinating insights into psychology, behavior, and emotional dynamics. Let's uncover the 4 hidden psychological secrets behind it. The primal instinct connection. This position directly activates our evolutionary wiring. According to evolutionary psychology, doggy style mirrors natural mating postures seen across the animal kingdom, tapping into instinctive, primal responses in the human brain. Because it involves less face-to-face interaction, the mind often shifts away from emotional processing and focuses more on raw physical sensation, something our primitive brain interprets as pure desire. Power. Dominance and submission doggy style also brings power dynamics into play, a theme deeply studied in human sexual psychology. The partner behind often takes a more dominant role, while the one in front assumes a submissive position. Interestingly, research shows that individuals who naturally lean toward dominance or submissiveness often find this position more fulfilling. When practiced with mutual consent and trust, it can strengthen emotional bonds by fostering vulnerability and communication between partners. Less eye contact. More sensation because there's minimal eye contact in this position. Partners tend to focus more intensely on physical sensations rather than emotional cues. Psychologists explain that the absence of direct gaze reduces self-consciousness and allows individuals to immerse themselves fully in the experience. This disconnection from facial feedback can even enhance fantasy exploration and deepen arousal by removing social filters. Confidence and body image reflections. Doggy style can also reveal much about a person's body confidence and self-perception. The partner in front is often more exposed, which can feel either empowering or intimidating depending on their comfort level. Those with higher body confidence tend to feel freer and more in control during this position, while others may experience insecurity or hesitation. Understanding these feelings can help partners create a more emotionally safe and supportive environment. Final thought: doggy style might appear purely physical, but beneath its surface lies a complex mix of psychological factors, from primal instincts to emotional vulnerability, confidence, and connection. When explored with awareness and communication, it's not just a position, it becomes a powerful expression of trust, intimacy, and shared human behavior. Part 2. The Deeper Psychology Behind Doggy Style. Human Behavior Edition. While most people see doggy style as just another sexual position, psychology tells a much more layered story. Beneath the surface lies a mix of emotional patterns, attachment styles, and subconscious desires that shape how people experience it. Emotional distance versus emotional freedom for some. The lack of face-to-face contact can feel emotionally distant. It may reduce intimacy if one partner craves deep eye connection, but for others, that same distance creates emotional freedom, allowing them to let go, feel uninhibited, and express raw desire without overthinking how they appear. This is why psychologists suggest that doggy style can act as a mirror for one's comfort with emotional vulnerability. Some use it to escape judgment, while others use it to release hidden parts of themselves. Brain chemistry and dopamine surge. During this position, the body often produces higher levels of dopamine and oxytocin, 2 key hormones linked to pleasure and bonding. The unique angle and movement stimulate nerve endings differently, creating strong sensory feedback that activates the brain's reward system. Interestingly, oxytocin, often called the trust hormone, can still build emotional connection, even in positions that appear less intimate. This shows that physical closeness doesn't always depend on eye contact, but rather on the shared experience of pleasure and trust. Unspoken communication between partners. Doggy style often relies on nonverbal cues, touch, rhythm, and energy, rather than words. This silent communication builds an instinctive understanding between partners. According to sexual behavior experts, This enhances empathic attunement, the ability to sense and respond to each other's emotional and physical signals. When both partners move in sync, it creates a rhythm of trust, dominance, and surrender that strengthens emotional bonds. The role of fantasy and imagination. This position also opens the door for sexual fantasy and mental escape. Because visual connection is reduced, many people find it easier to explore scenarios or emotions that might feel uncomfortable in face-to-face intimacy. In psychological terms, this creates a safe mental space for exploration without exposure. The ability to indulge in imagination while still maintaining real-world safety and trust. Final thought: Doggy Style isn't just about primal instinct. It's also about how people express emotions, trust, and desire without words. When understood through the lens of psychology, it becomes a reflection of how partners connect, communicate, and balance control with surrender. At its core, it's not about the act itself. It's about the human need to feel seen, desired, and safe, even when the eyes aren't meeting. Part 3. The hidden relationship psychology behind Doggy Style. Doggy Style may look like a purely physical act, but psychology reveals that it often reflects deeper emotional patterns within a relationship. From communication to trust and attraction, this position can uncover how partners truly connect, both mentally and emotionally. The trust test. Despite its primal energy, Doggy Style requires a surprising amount of trust. The partner in front is in a more vulnerable position, unable to see, predict, or control every movement. Psychologically, this demands emotional surrender. It's an unspoken act of faith that the other person will respect boundaries and move with care. When done with mutual respect, it strengthens intimacy on a subconscious level, telling the brain, "I'm safe here." Healing and emotional release. Psychologists believe that sexual positions involving vulnerability, like Doggy Style, can help release stored emotional tension. Because it taps into primal instincts, it can act as a form of somatic expression, where the body releases built-up emotions that words cannot express. In emotionally healthy relationships, this can become a form of healing, transforming physical pleasure into emotional relief, especially when combined with aftercare, affection, and communication. Reinforcing desire in long-term relationships. For couples in long-term relationships, routine can often dull excitement. Doggy Style breaks monotony by introducing elements of novelty, surprise, and dominant submission play. Research in sexual psychology shows that new or intense experiences trigger dopamine, the same chemical linked to attraction and excitement. This means that experimenting with positions that feel adventurous can rekindle passion and strengthen emotional bonding between partners. Revealing communication. Style's Doggy Style also tests nonverbal communication. Timing, rhythm, and touch become the language. Couples who sync naturally often report deeper emotional connection outside the bedroom too. This synchronization reflects relationship harmony, the ability to understand each other's needs without speaking. Psychologists call this intuitive coordination, a sign of mutual respect, empathy, and shared emotional intelligence. Final thought behind its raw intensity: Doggy Style reveals a quiet truth about human connection. Love and desire are built on trust, surrender, and understanding. When partners explore this position mindfully, respecting emotional boundaries and communicating openly, it becomes more than just a sexual act. It transforms into a psychological bond, one that bridges primal instinct with emotional intimacy. Because at the end of the day, it's not the position that creates passion. It's the psychology behind it that keeps the flame alive.